Tom Brady has once again proven he is the GOAT and he will make it to the conference championship game no matter who he is playing for. Mariah, Janos, and Evan Lazar here. After last night's game, honestly, after this entire season, Evan, the first set of games were a little rocky for the Bucs, but it's safe to say that Tom Brady made the right call going to Tampa Bay. Am I correct?
That's the biggest takeaway from me, Mariah, is that, look, we can talk about it being Brady versus Belichick and who's more valuable. We can talk about why Tom Brady isn't still a New England Patriot and why he isn't here anymore. The reason why he's not here anymore is because back in March, Tom Brady put these two rosters next to each other, and he's a very smart, intelligent football mind, and he said, wow, this Bucs team has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and I can probably get Gronk to come out of retirement to play with me again. And then we have a defense that's really budding on the other side of the ball with a bunch of young playmakers. And he put together last night against the Saints really a C-plus game by Tom Brady's standards. He only threw for 199 yards. He was only 18 for 33 in the game. And he basically gave the game what it needed. And that's what we've seen him do so many different times when he isn't on that A-plus Tom Brady game. And with a C-plus game, his defense picked him up, had 4 turnovers forced against the Saints. He was able to spread the ball around to a couple of different playmakers, a guy like Scotty Miller or Tyler Johnson. They don't have those types of guys in New England. Those guys are 1s and 2s in New England instead of 4s and 5s like they are in Tampa Bay. And he looked up and down that roster and he made the right call to decide that he had a much better chance of maximizing the last year or two of his career in Tampa Bay than he did in New England, just based off of what was going to be around him in both situations.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit it right on the mark there. In last night's game, I mean, like you said, a C-plus game for Tom Brady's standards. It was really a matter of the Saints losing than the Bucs. I mean, the Bucs, I'm not discrediting them at all. Their defense was great, and Tom Brady did his job. And that's the difference here. Drew Brees made mistakes. Tom Brady didn't make mistakes. He wasn't amazing, but he didn't make mistakes, and that's what it came down to ultimately. Now, fast forwarding to next weekend, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. This is one of the only bad games the Packers had this season was playing Tampa Bay. Do you think that they can get it done?
It's a really great matchup, and this Packers offense is a really stark contrast to what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do offensively. They are a much more heavy under center, outside zone rushing attack, very good running game. Aaron Jones had a huge game last week. So that's where the Packers really start, is with a great running attack that then feeds off into everything that Aaron Rodgers does. And then Aaron Rodgers is obviously taking a system that like Jared Goff exists in and Jimmy Garoppolo exists in, and then just taking it to that next level, that next, kind of elite quarterback level. And I think this is a very difficult matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that they're going to have some trouble slowing down Aaron Rodgers. I think that offense right now is basically unstoppable unless you can really, really get after their running game and make them one-dimensional. I think you're going to have a very difficult time stopping the Green Bay Packers if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As great as that defense was against New Orleans, Drew Brees cannot throw the ball more than 20 yards down the field anymore. He's about, 1 foot out the door in that game anyways towards retirement. This is a much different animal when you're going up against who's probably going to be the league MVP. But again, Brady's in Tampa Bay for a reason. He would not be playing on championship weekend with New England. He would be playing on championship weekend as he is with Tampa Bay because of the playmakers around him, because of the defense. And I think this is going to be a game, but I actually give the slight edge right now to Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, as much as I hate to count Brady out. And we both picked the Bucs, I want to say, against New Orleans because we didn't want to count Brady out.
We had the gut feeling, you just firsthand. You just
knew that Drew Brees was going to make more mistakes in that game or limit his offense more in that game than Tom Brady was. Or in this case, I think that it's pretty clear that the quarterbacks are going to be just about even, and it's going to come down to all the other things in this game. And that's where I sort of give the Green Bay Packers a little bit of an edge. Although I think Tampa Bay does have the better defense, their Tampa Bay defense is not going up against itself, right? It's going up against Aaron Rodgers. So it's a little bit, doesn't really matter on paper who has the better defense, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good game. I don't even know who to take at this point. You never want to not bet on Tom, but I personally do not want to see the Bucs go to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's just me being a huge jerk, but I don't like the idea of the Buccaneers getting a home game. Like the
Yeah,
Super
that
Bowl
is
is
weird.
in Tampa Bay. I don't want that to happen. I don't like that. That's not fair. What is this? Like I want like that's the only reason I want to see the Packers win. The Vikings are my second favorite team in the NFL. I know it's wild, but they are. I don't want to see a Packers win, but I really don't want to see the Bucs playing at home in the Super Bowl. That's just not fair. It's not the
Although
way it should
it would be pretty classic Brady
be. It would be.
if the Bills somehow beat Kansas City. To beat Buffalo in the Super Bowl would just kind of be the final sort of nail in the coffin for Brady dominating Buffalo his entire career.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm rooting for that, but I think that angle of it is pretty hilarious. That if Brady, who has been the Bill's father, let's face it, for his entire career, I think he has better stats in Buffalo than any Bills quarterback, maybe
Probably.
besides Josh Allen, who might be adding them up now. It's funny to look at the records of Brady versus the Bills. I don't know if the Bills are going to win the AFC side, but I think ultimately what it comes down to is that this is a really, really well-coached Green Bay Packers team on both sides of the ball. I think that the Bucs are going to have some trouble moving the football and also especially stopping that Green Bay offense that just looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, it really does. So we'll just have to wait and see. For all of our Patriots /NFL /Tom Brady coverage, head to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Patriots Press Pass.